I, Omar Dampha.
I, Omar Dampha.
Interpretation into the microphone, please.
Nte Omar Dampha.
I, Omar Dampha.
Nte Omar Dampha.
Do swear that.
Mbenkali lako.
I, Omar Dampha.
Nte Omar Dampha.
Do swear that.
Mbenkali lako.
I'll speak the truth.
Mbe tonyale fola.
The whole truth.
Tonya damma.
And nothing but the truth.
Nte fem fola mem manke tonyati.
So help me God.
Woto alama ale ndema.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dampha.
Inyang, Mr. Dampha.
Thank you for agreeing to testify before the TRRC.
Barakabake, isonta nyame kana kila CDRO di jang TRRC.
Today we want to talk about the following subjects.
Bi mbelafla min kachala jang wolo nyinti.
Your biographical information.
Wolo mite fangola kibaro itel mjumati.
And your work as a soldier in the Gambia National Army.
Anila doko sojar kunda Gambia mansakundato.
Your travels abroad and what you did in those travels.
Andungila tamo bantala banko kang emineke o tamo kono.
And when you returned and your foray into Farafenni.
Anin kabri muruntanang inatana samba Farafenni.
I'll rephrase that. The attack you guys launched at Farafenni barracks.
Okay, ale boinkango minkenu Farafenni barracks.
Your subsequent escape from the territory.
Inatana kana wodulato nyame.
And your arrest and deportation to the Gambia from Senegal.
Inate muta nyame Senegal ke murundi na Gambia bankoka.
The investigations that were carried out against you.
Kiskisro ye minke itela karoto.
And what the things that were done to you in the process.
Anin kol minke tela wo kiskisro wato.
At NIA. And at the Mile 2 prisons.
And in Mile 2 prisons.
And how you came subsequently to be released from prison.
And nata nyame fo inata na inata ebula prison to kasoto.
And the impact of all this on your life.
Ni wokul nata mune sabo itafangola baluo kono.
And the impact of serving time at Mile 2 prison.
Mune sabo ima kabriye watol kem Mile 2 prison kabriye sindiye besoro kanga.
And in all this, some of the things that were being said about the Mandinkas in this country.
Aning wol kono be kuma kangol min fo mandinko la karoto nangim banko kono jang.
And when you finish, you may be given an opportunity to say a few words as closing remarks.
Ni pareta drong ibe sola puru ela kuma kalabangol ke kaje ko yela diamo tawala.
Are you ready to proceed?
Pareta le purunga continue.
Mr. Witness?
Sero ibetele ma ko fay pareta le purunga continue.
Yes, I am ready.
Did you hear everything I have said?
Ngamin foye jang yabe moyle.
Yes, I've heard it.
And do you understand everything that's been said?
Yabe fahamle ngamin foye jang.
Yes, I've heard it.
Thank you very much. Before you begin your testimony, I must warn you that it is a criminal offense to lie on the oath or to provide false testimony to the commission.
Bara jandi bela sedi aro fanan commence la mbela flake dandalla ko na luwal balantale ye kuma kan fumi alon ko manke toñati kalo kono ani hanin na luwe na banko luwal fanan balantala.
Do you understand?
Ya fahamle.
Yes, I understand.
Mr. Dampha, what are your full names?
Sadam faito ni kontongo mumuniti.
Omar Dampha.
My name is Omar Dampha.
Are you known by any other names?
Liberia ka fanyol John Dampha.
In Liberia, they call me John Dampha.
And are you also called by another name?
Todo fanambijele ke komandi minna.
No, these are the names I know about myself.
How did you metamorphose from Omar to John?
La itala ko ya ke ye dan kuno nyaade le kabo Umar kana Jones.
Yalon kabrin be Liberia na operation nim la moti kar nim ko Umar mol balo nako manka Liberia noti.
Well, when I was in Liberia, that was my operational name, because if I say Omar, a lot of people will know that I am not a Liberian.
And it was important for you to disguise your nationality.
And silang iti akumate ite ile puri kaje ko kela banku ya nyi faling.
Anya manka faling oti.
No, it's not changing it.
No, it was necessary. It was important
Ako bara
for
kumata
your nationality not to be revealed.
puri kanela banku di ya nyi iwanyar.
Ngaka wala kam.
Yes, I did it because of that.
Okay. In fact, most, if not all, of the Gambians that served in Liberia at that time under the NPFL or so on took Liberian names.
Andonga be wala nyama na manke beti fangambe Jamal mi alon ko ka tara Liberia ike todo leta Liberian tolni.
Ambele be wonyama ji.
Yes, we were all like that there.
So Omar Juf Dampha, John Dampha, or Juf are all names by which you are referred to.
Silanga kamuta Omar John Dampha, Omar Juf, will be me told it ke dan kumin.
I be mun told.
Yes, they are all my names.
What's your date of birth?
Silang munekete la wulu sangote.
20 June 1964.
20th June 1964.
Where were you born?
Wulu ta munto.
Jara kanakunda LRR.
I was born in Jarakanikunda in the LRR region.
Tell us about your education.
La karango la nya fo molie.
Primary school ke Pakalinding Primary School.
I attended primary school at the Pakalinding Primary School.
Proceed.
Pakalinding Secondary Technical School.
From there, I went to the Pakalinding Secondary Technical School.
And you finished in 1980.
Inate la karango ban 1980.
Yes.
What did you do after 1980 when you finished?
Muneke kabirin 19 parete la karango la 1980 ka
Nata taran yen tola men Omar Diouf. Plumbing contractor Martinu. Gambia Plumbing Company.
The man they named me after, I went to him. He was a plumbing contractor called Omar Diouf.
What did you go there to do?
tata kamuneke je.
Tata jayen karandi plumbing la.
I went there for him to teach me the art of plumbing.
The trade of plumbing.
The trade of plumbing, okay.
And later, you left his company, correct?
Kola.
Yes, I later left that company.
And you enlisted into the Gambia National Army.
Nata dung sojar kunda na banko kono jang.
Which year was that?
Nata ke sanjumale.
The selection of 1984, but
Selection was done in 1984.
85 lenga training started on the 2nd.
We started training in 1985 on the 2nd.
Of which month?
Karjuma. January.
And when did you finish training?
Yo training o bang wati juma.
4 months later training.
We did 4 months for the training.
So that would take you to April 1995, correct?
Komta ko be sambala April karo 1995.
Yes, that's what happened.
Where were you deployed upon completion of training?
Nankabe yela karon folo bang ye samba muntole.
Tarta jele fo mitata ina GNA for August 27th.
I was with the GNA till August 27th.
Same 85.
In 1985.
In 1985.
Yes.
Nata selection of the Nata Confederal Army.
Then I later went and joined the Confederal Army.
And where were you stationed?
La ye samba muntole.
Naran Samba headquarters Bakau opposite Zandam camp.
They took me to the headquarters in Bakau, opposite the Zandam camp.
In 1996, you had the opportunity to go for some training abroad.
Silang 1996 sango nata harge soto kata training do ke bantala bankoto.
I Naran Samba Senegal training.
Yes, they took me to Senegal for training.
On what?
Mun training no.
Training a façon men ke jasi atali.
The type of training we had there was various.
What did you specially focus on especially?
Training
Mine and explosive karane.
Yes, we learned mine and explosives.
Nga bridge of fanan karane burning kilo bekerin la fengata ka bridge of kaje.
And we also learned how to construct bridges where, in wartime, where there is a war, how to cross places with bridges. We also did a commando training there.
And when you finished your training, where were you deployed?
Back to Confederal again.
I came back to the Confederal Army again.
And did you return to your parent unit later?
Silang imurunta ila bululal. Ibulu inata muru ila sojar kafuba nyintole bang.
Amur the headquarters again.
Yes, I went back to the headquarters again.
And what happened after that?
Silang muli nata kewo kola.
Ninga kilo back in 90.
If I can remember, in 1997.
September, another move back to GNA again.
In September, I went back again to the GNA.
2 years like a Confederal.
I spent 2 years at the Confederal unit.
And then?
Okola.
Another Trrc.
I was there.
In Atang Nsamba Farafenni.
Then they took me to Farafenni.
What year?
Sanju Malewoti.
1989.
That was in 1989.
Mr. Dampha, you seem to be going back in terms of the years.
Oh,
we have gone as far as 1997. When you were deployed back to the Confederal Army, and then in 1997, September, you were redeployed to your parent unit.
It should be 87, not 97, sorry.
Okay, all right. In fact,
87. Okay.
In fact, yes, there was no confederation in 1995, 1996. So let's take it back. You were posted to Confederation in 1985-86, right?
Yeah,
December Confederation.
Huh?
Up to 87. 87 okay.
Yes, up to 87. I left that place in 1987.
Okay. So 1987, you were returned to your parent company.
1987, Nate Murundi last Sojar.
Okay. Murundi back to GNA.
Yes, I was taken back to GNA.
And you discharged from the army in 1990.
Natabo Sojar Kuna 1990.
1990 lang from the army.
Yes, I left the army in 1990.
You only did 6 years.
Amunda ko kari woro
Sanji woro.
Sanji woro droneke.
5 years.
Mula Sanji Lulu.
5 years, huh?
Sanji Lulu.
January 1995 to 1990.
January 1995 kata 1990.
What did you do when you left the army?
Sila idi nanda muneke kabiri bota Sojar Kunda.
Kabiri bota army man na wantara do kulambe shirin.
Since I left the army, I was just sitting down without a job.
And then?
Okola.
The same 1991. Na barendindo me ala letlem Dudu Sanyang.
Well, I had a niece called Dudu Sanyang. He came and found me in my compound at Tanje.
Nata fonye ko Swandi Kamara.
He told me Swandi Kamara.
Wala nata ya ko ye modole be Ivory Coast ikafa Dr. Mani.
He told me that there was somebody in Ivory Coast called Dr. Mani.
Wala ko ala fita ex-serviceman wala pour do ko company le babu.
He said he wanted to have ex-servicemen. He has a company and he wants those people to work for him. But I was not ready to go. But because of my niece, because we were very well used to each other, and there was a big respect between us, then I later decided to join them.
And this Dr. Mane, is he known by another name?
Sila ngin Dr. Mani todo balale ka kumandi minna.
Kabrin te balon na ka fome Dr. Mani kabrin to fudara Liberia la ngalo ko ko samba sanyan.
He's initially we call him Dr. Mani, but when I arrived in Liberia, that's the time I came to know that he is Kukoi Samba Sanyang.
And Kukoi Samba Sanyang of the 1981 disastrous coup attempt in Gambia.
And ngin kude Kukoi Samba Sanyang wolom in 1981 coup d'etat min ketanunja.
It's the same person.
What kind of company were you told he had?
Te ngin company si fanya dile yo mi fe kate wala soto.
Suandi kamara mbarendi wala foro dudu sanya dile dudu sanya.
As my nephew told me, the late Dudu Sanyang told me that the man has hospitals. He wants to enlist people who were ex-servicemen. So he wants people who should be Gambians.
Did you go alone?
No, I didn't go alone.
Who did you go with?
I went along with Swandi Kamara,
the late Dauda Nyasi Taranyola,
the late Dauda Nyasi,
the late Lamin Dabo Taranyola,
the late Lamin Dabo,
and MM Koli.
And MM Koli.
I hope MM Koli is alive.
Yes, MM Kola.
Yes, he is alive.
Okay, and where did you start your journey from?
Langalang in Talia kumasi muntole.
Tata ni Zigansor.
We went via Zigansor.
Kata Tambakunda.
And went on to Tambakunda. We joined a train at Tambakunda and went to Mali.
Bamako?
Bamako.
Yes, where we were staying, that area is called Bamako.
And then?
And from Bamako?
From Bamako, we spent the night at Bamako. Then the following day, we joined a vehicle and went to Burkina Faso.
Where in Burkina?
The second capital, Bobo Julasu.
We went to their second capital called Bobo Julaso. We left Bobo Julaso. We took a bus from there and went to Ouagadougou. Where we based was called Avenue Morinaba.
And thereafter?
That's where we were based. All that time we have not yet met Kukoi.
Dr. Mane from Majed.
We didn't see Dr. Mane up to that time.
But one day,
they came to me and told me that the man they are talking about, let's go to him.
There
was somewhere in Burkina Faso a very expensive bar. They took us there.
Expensive or extensive?
No,
everything is in that bar.
So
what is everything?
Well, it's in terms of food, you have a lot of things, food and a lot of things there. So when we went there, they said this bar belongs to him.
But
I said somebody who they said was in Ivory Coast. How can he have a bar here? Is this something? Is this something very clear?
But
even there, we were still unable to see this Dr. Mane they are talking about.
2 weeks
we spent 2 weeks at Burkina.
The third week, you not for you go sank at Ivory Coast.
In the third week, they said, now we are going to Ivory Coast.
The
plane we boarded, when we were going on board the plane, our bags were searched. After we sat down on board the plane, we saw a man come into the plane, a fair-colored person, followed by his security man. They said, this man is the man called Charles Taylor. I said, I said, then today this place will be, something will happen here.
Why did you think so?
Why? What do we have with Charles Taylor? So at that point, we cannot disembark from the plane. That's how the plane took off.
Between Ivory Coast and Liberia border.
It went and landed between the Ivory Coast and Liberia's border.
But of course, this was the time of the NPFL.
NPFL.
Yes, this was, yes.
And this was just 2 years after the NPFL was launched.
1 year.
1 year, because it was, yes, they started in 89, but the official launch is 1990 from Nimba County.
Yes.
Proceed, please.
We went at night. We traveled only at night.
Who funded your travel?
What all we spent, Swandi Kamara was responsible for all our expenditure.
So Swandi was a recruiting agent also.
Yes.
Proceed.
That's how we formed a convoy
from Nimba County.
From Nimba County. We ran like that until we went into Bong County. The time we arrived at the Bong County, bullets were raining down like how rain comes from the sky. I said, what is happening here? And we are, at that time there was a ceasefire. I said, during a ceasefire, bullets are raining like this. Then if there is no ceasefire,
Mr.
Batudamandi, ni emem fonka karna sorle ni idia mutarna dia mo kandorong molta moila. Why iko ceasefire be caring kidikeso be sanjijila. What on ninkelo be caring munebekela. He said that during a ceasefire, if bullets are raining on people, now when there is a war, what's going to happen? Then they took us to Yankuba Samate's house.
From Badabujang, Salikenya, Nimangina.
He's a Gambian. I think if I can remember, he's from Salikenya. Then I said to myself, oh, on the whole, in Liberia here, you have Gambians here. But up to that point, we are still unable to see Dr. Mane.
Yanks, what was his name?
Yanks.
Well, I gave it away, sorry. But what was his full name in Liberia?
You can find Yanks, General Yanks.
They call him General Yanks.
Was he Smith? Was he Smith?
Smith,
yes, he is also called Smith.
Yes, proceed, please.
We were there. But they also realized that we are ex-servicemen. And
Kari.
And they said we should be taken to a place called Kari. It's a place where they have cattle and many other animals which are reared in that place. We went there and found Mustafa Jiba there. He's the man who was in charge of that place.
What was his Liberian name?
At a Liberian community.
Mustafa Macaron.
They call him Mustafa Macaron. We spent some few days there also.
Liberia na kukili na bela koto.
But Liberia, there is one thing about them.
Nimbedalaji konko mina mofala.
Before we came to know about the place, we were nearly killed by hunger. Because there's only one type of food there. If you have lunch, you will not have dinner. And even their normal time, that's what's the system there. But small things that you can eat around are plenty. Because they are sufficiently endowed. We were at Mustafa's place. One man came there and we were told that this man is Kukoi's deputy. They call him General Abulai Ba.
Short and strong?
Yes.
Yes.
Inata for ngine mu Kukoi Sambasanyana deputy.
They told us this man is Kukoi Sambasanyang's deputy.
How many Gambian generals did you have there?
Tol aliye Gambian general so gille strogie.
Follow General Mansiade.
When we initially arrived, there were not many generals.
Namiro to what man ning general beje abekala chaselo ala bodyguard.
At that time, if there was a general, I think he was Charles Taylor's bodyguard. They call him Jerry Coley.
And Jerry Coley was General Jackson.
Yes, Jerry Coley was General Jackson.
Yanks too, wasn't he a general?
Yanks
general.
And later on, Yankuba also became a general.
And Ablaiba also was a general.
Ablai is 3-star general.
Ablai was a 3-star general.
Lieutenant general.
So,
how about Mustafa Macaroni?
Mustafa was a lieutenant colonel.
Mustafa was a lieutenant colonel.
Gambians ruled Liberia.
Gambians so Liberia mara?
Well, if the truth comes out, Gambians were very powerful in Liberia. Wherever you have serious trouble, if a Gambian is not there, then you will not go. That's how we were there.
General Ablaiba.
This General Ablaiba.
Nata for Mustafa ko konta tuno le jembita for Grand Bassa.
He told Mustafa that we cannot remain there. We have to go to Grand Bassa.
Grand Bassam?
Bassa, yes, in Bichama.
Grand Bassa in Bichama.
Mudinata na Samba Bichama.
They took us to Bijama.
But Omudunta 1990. Because 91 and Dunda 92 kono sign.
Now we were in 92 at that time.
At this stage, have you already been integrated into the NFL? Or NPFL, right?
Foka pare NPFL.
Yes, at that time we were in the middle of things.
What rank did you attain at the NPFL?
Initially, I was just a fighter.
For rank operation rank.
If I was given a rank, it was an operational rank.
Which was?
I was a captain.
Which was a captain.
You led a company.
That's how we were.
Documents olta.
They came and took our documents.
Up to this time, have you met Kukoi?
Up
to that time, we haven't seen Dr. Mane.
Did you willingly enlist?
Because we were already in the middle of things. At that moment, you cannot refuse. Because the way Liberia was, because how things were going on, Gambians held many positions there. If you come to Nimba County, where we entered through, Colonel Mfamara Koli was responsible for that area. If you go to Lofa,
General
Jallo was there.
What's his name?
Tondi.
Atabuta Ndembanle.
He's from Demban.
Did he have a Liberian name?
A Liberian tosotole.
Mustafa Jallo.
Mustafa Jallo.
Do man kala atala ngamra Mustafa Sanya ne mai do fo Sane le mbay don't know.
I'm not sure
General Jallo.
whether he was Mustafa Sanyang or Sane, but they call him General Jallo.
Wala marta Lofala.
He was the guy in charge of Lofa.
By the
time when we went into Liberia, to come out of that country was really difficult. If you are a stranger and you happen to go in, and the time you were going in, it was late at night. And daybreak, you see yourself in the country, and Banga was in the middle of Liberia. I think they were not sure of us, or there was no trust. That's why they decided to take us to Grand Bassa. Unfortunately, before 2 months, Ukoi came from Ghana. I cannot forget that day. That was the day I set eyes on Kukoi. Oh, I said to myself, the man they call Dr. Mane, so this is the person. In the whole of Liberia, they only call him Dr. Mane. They don't call him Kukoi. That's the time we sat down with him and had a meeting. That's how we all joined. As we all joined.
But what did he want from you?
What we found them doing was they helped Child Stello in fighting. When they were ready, they come to the Gambia. But at that time, Jawara was the head of state.
And you agreed to that enterprise?
Yes.
Okay, and you continued to participate in fighting in Liberia, isn't it?
Yes, but before the fighting itself, now how we were there, that's how they came to know. They knew that we were old soldiers. They said we should go to Cobra Base. That was Charles Taylor's advanced training base. Before we attacked Monrovia.
But that was a base shared with Fode Sanko, was it?
But a old landing for the Sanko Fanang Dabi Yele.
No, Fode was not part of that. I've never seen a Sierra Leonean there. I held the Quran and swore. And this is Allah's name. I will tell the truth is better than telling lies.
This is a very important point, perhaps for other reasons, but proceed.
But it is a continuum.
Cobra Base.
We went to Cobra Base. Because people were taught by Liberians. But when we arrived, they said we should take over the camp from the Liberians. It was himself, Dudu Sanyang, late Dudu Sanyang, late Dauda Nyasi, MM Koli, late Lamin Dabo, and Swandi Kamara.
And you are all ex-servicemen?
And we were all ex-soldiers. So then we were there training the boys.
Before 1992,
before the war started in 1992. Those who don't know will think that it was Charles Taylor who attacked Monrovia. But I held the Quran. What I saw with my eyes and what was said.
Ekomok.
Komok.
Problem of finta wole la karo.
The problem came from them.
Because 15 gate.
Because 15 gate.
Obe Habel.
Is at a place called Habel.
Ni bota jere kata Morovia.
If you leave that place, you go to Monrovia.
15 gate be Ekomok lebu.
15 gate was in the hands of the Ekomok.
Rebel will be born on la Morovia nyadi le foi na more massacre in Habel.
So how can rebels come from Monrovia and come and kill people at Habel?
Koko Charles Yellow.
They said it was Charles Taylor.
In a 92 kiloma.
This is what triggered the 1992 war. But it was really tough.
Covering 15 gate.
Starting from 15 gate.
Yeah, killing the red light table.
We fought them until we took the place called Red Light from them.
Vannersville table.
We took Vannersville from them.
New Georgie table.
We took New Georgie also from them. We took a lot of places from them.
Do you realize that some Gambians were injured in that fighting? Some, not many.
Gambian dantang baramata no kelo.
Gambians don't fight in Liberia. If anybody tells you that,
I wouldn't lie to you. If
Gambians tell you they were fighting in Liberia, no.
Freeport.
They were there, but based at Freeport. We see them.
One platoon was involved in fighting. And Captain Kambi was injured.
It could be, but I have not seen them.
But all these things are interesting. But let's move to the more important points. You served in Liberia until 1994.
Liberia for 1994, Samuel.
Yes.
And then what happened after that?
Barnisi yako bonyenga point dollar soto mbe meng declare for la pru meng keta pru jamaa salongo nyam.
I want you to forgive me. There is a point which I want to declare here so that people will know about it.
Yes.
On 1992
in the war in 1992,
bring a Ekomok defeat.
When we defeated the Ekomok,
yeah, jet fighter tankam.
They took jet fighters against us.
Liberia lenga cluster bomb.
It was in Liberia that I saw a cluster bomb. I've never seen it in my life.
Wouldn't cluster bombs be illegal?
Yes, I saw it. They drop it along with a parachute.
Just like
We saw some of them which didn't explode, just like a barrel. Because in Liberia you have many swamps, a lot of water. Where it falls down, if it is in water, it won't explode. I saw it with my eyes there.
So in 1992,
Ghanaian
Ekomok,
the Ghanaian members of the Ekomok, they are the people who went to Bichama.
General Babe Daming,
where General Ba was,
documents so battle Bruno.
He was having our documents.
Ghanaian documents
they took over your base.
Yes, they took over the base and captured our documents.
Ghanaian document bondi.
Those documents were the documents sold by Ghanaians. And that's why they said, oh, Gambians are still fighting for Charles Taylor. And that was the time they sent those papers in Jawara's time, saying that we've all died. And our deaths were announced here, and they did the necessary things for us.
You mean your family did the necessary things for you?
Yes, they did everything because they said that I was already dead. But this was during Jawara's time.
And later?
Then from 1995.
From 1995, it was the time when Kukoy said, let's come to the Gambia. But by that time, we were tired in Liberia.
Why?
Kukoy.
Because Kukoy, if you see him this year, before you see him again, it takes a long time. Whether we were alive or dead, he doesn't care. He's always by himself.
But it was said that the Gambians controlled the executive mansion.
They said at that time
that the Gambians controlled the executive mansion.
Executive mansion. Yeah, that was true.
Yet you are suffering in Liberia.
But I had for be at all betora Liberia.
The reason why I said we suffered, however long a stick stays in water will not be able to transform into a crocodile. Well, as
enjoyment.
Well, if you talk about enjoyment, really,
you enjoy.
Yes, however, the war was going on, but we also enjoy.
Special forces.
We were all among the special forces.
10 bodyguards, more than that is also.
If you want, you can have more than 10 bodyguards. And you can go to anywhere you want to go.
Time for
Sometimes they even hire me. Because anywhere at a ghetto in Liberia, when they say John or Rambo, they will give me away.
So you also became Rambo?
Yes.
And Yangs was one of those that controlled the executive mansion.
Yangs fanang dabi mol executive
Yes, that happened because Charles Sello went to Ghana for a meeting.
Robin White ka interview no.
If one can remember, Robin White interviewed him. And said to him, I am at Banga. Can you hear a generator, the now sound of a generator? Really, he was not at Banga. He was at the border.
Every coast Liberian border.
Every coast and Liberian border. Because on that at that time,
generals, eight generals.
8 generals. They connived. They came and burnt down our mansion. They took away all our guns. The things they cannot carry, they burnt them. But at that time, Charles Taylor was in Ghana.
Which year was that?
It was...
Was this part of the negotiations for the Accra Accords?
I think it was the same time.
You must have been there, Mr. Chair.
So I signed.
Now, when the mansion was burnt down, they wanted to advance and come to the area where we were. When they heard that that place there are Gambians there, they went back. But on that day also, I saw the person we call a 3-star general. Well, on that day, he was afraid. He said, what are we going to do now? Let's go and surrender to the ECOMOG forces.
My dead body.
I said to him, over my dead body. Maybe somebody will come to testify here who will say that, yes, this happened. I said to him, we die is better than handing over ourselves to the ECOMOG soldiers. But later on we tried until we took Banga from them.
So kabrin chasiro natana murna.
When Charles Taylor returned,
Wato la intolo katandala mo montola ka guide.
that was the time when he brought us closer to him himself. We were his guards.
Malla ko kala molla.
Because he didn't trust anymore his own people.
Lona ga guide sign.
It was us who were guarding him now, Gambians.
Yes, and in fact, some of them, like Youngs, later became ambassador.
ambassador.
Charles Taylor's ambassador to
Charles
Libya.
Taylor ambassador to Libya.
Right?
Yes.
So you guys wielded a lot of authority in Liberia.
Liberia.
A lot of experience. You became battle hardened. You also became Rambo. And you decided to come to Gambia.
That's true.
Tell us what happened when you came.
So when we came back, when I came back,
And before nyesi.
and before that,
Ngala Quran lo tadi.
I took a Quran.
Along ala nabe kuwa kala kakele.
Well, when Allah wants to do something, it happens.
Onyala sometimes hadama mo bilemle.
Sometimes we blame people.
Ara ala if men safe jongo kunda boka bai.
But whatever Allah destines for a person will always happen.
Na broda kilimbeje Baba Job doma.
I have one brother, Baba Job's younger brother, Sirif
Ba Job.
Sirif Ba Job.
Akonye ko ndonka nam.
He said, younger brother, I said, Nam.
Akonye kuko bal katakanne kal al somebody.
He said to me, Kukoi is trying to take you people away.
But na al samba Gambia bar jamfala.
But when he takes you to the Gambia, he will betray you.
Mala ko momoy.
But I didn't heed his word.
Nata na wala nyama.
That's how we came.
Bari nata nyadile.
But how we came,
Bari document central.
because we had no documents.
Mala te ayo keno nyalbe fo Senegal ID card ay wol din tolla. Bara man ka nying ID card de menka tarakay to konde menka eletendem.
Well, I don't know how he did this. But he tried and made available to us Senegalese ID cards, which were in the form of a booklet.
With the flag, the colors of the flag running through it?
We all traveled with those documents.
With your own pictures affixed on it?
Yes, every man's pictures. I don't know how he got that from the Senegalese authorities, but I don't know. I forgot one thing also. It's also important for people to know. When we were in Liberia, what really angered me later, I see Casamas rebels coming to Kukoi. He was dealing with them.
Yes.
Yes.
Liberia.
Liberia.
Yes, they come all the way to Liberia. I saw that many times.
What kind of dealing were they involved in?
But they were doing, what they were up to was not clear to me. But the moment you see them, you will know that they are not Gambians, they are from Casamas.
How do you know that?
They themselves say this. They said they are Kasase. That's the time when we know that. Then Kukoi has a hand in the Casamas. Allah created a human being. A human being is not something, is not a joke. If you want to play with human beings, you will never have peace, you yourself.
Okay, you came to Gambia.
When we came to the Gambia,
Sorry.
we were divided into two groups. We were many because some were stationed at Tambakunda. That was Swandi and his group. We were at Kaula.
All of you were from Liberia, or there were some who were co-opted from other places?
We
were all from Liberia, but when we reached Kaula,
delete Ablai Sonko.
The late Ablai Sonko.
Modol je many along Gambian no leng mala all mobilized no nyam.
Some were Gambians, but I don't know how he mobilized those people.
Were they also ex-soldiers?
Soldier Kotole.
Hani o manka soldier roti.
No, they were not soldiers.
Ngamel long.
What I know.
What was going to be their role in your enterprise?
Well,
what I thought for bringing those people into the country, I don't know. I have never known that they have been soldiers.
In total, how many were you?
Well, we were a little. We were less than 22 people.
That was in Kaulach or both Kaulach and this place and Tamba, whatever the name of the place, put together.
Wala mol minube Kaulach, wala fo minube Kaulach aning minube Tamba ni albe kafunyo.
If you add all of us, we were less than 20 people.
So many be jana wolle buitan to domandi many be nung Tamba kunda.
Well, those who were at Tamba were more than us.
Okay. Did you have any weapons?
Silang kidol bal bulenumba.
No, we didn't have guns.
So this was whose government in Gambia at the time?
Sila wato jumala man sakundale benung Gambia jang wato.
Former President Yaya Jammeh.
It was Yaya Jammeh's regime.
So he wanted to overthrow Jawara, that failed. He now wants to overthrow Yaya Jammeh.
Sila lafta nung ka Jawara kudeta wo tinyata. Anata murung kote kalafika Yaya Jammeh fanang kudeta.
Ansi kuma ila question no beta back.
That question is very good.
Because nsi kuma fono auto fanantole.
But I can say something because I can say something about that too.
Kabring Yaya kudeta, kabri Yaya kudeta ka succeeda.
When Yaya succeeded in his coup d'etat,
Charles
Stello himself told the Gambians, now you should go home. Because what you wanted has now happened. Now you can go home. Whether it was Charles Stello himself who came here, but our leaders were the people who came. And I told them before that, those of us who came from the Gambia recently, we ex-soldiers, if things should be done rightly, we are the ones who should go because we know the Gambia. But they didn't agree to that. When these people's coup succeeded, I saw their pictures.
Okay, former President Jammeh.
Former President Jammeh.
1 year 6 months like ila camport.
I spent 1 year 6 months with him at the camp. The story building where he was staying was behind me. They called the place Yamatoñ. But we knew him as Kanilai. I didn't know his name as Yaya.
Okay, Yankuba Toure.
Yankuba Toure. I know him. I know him. When I was leaving, if I remember, Sana Sabali, he was a recruit. Edward didn't join the army in my presence.
The other man, Malo Kafanya, the Haidara.
I don't know him.
In Liberia.
When I saw their pictures in Liberia, I said there are two people here who I recognize, Yankuba and Sana. And they said, this man is called Jammeh, Captain. I said, but when I was leaving the army, there was no lieutenant called Jammeh. But saying that he left the Zandam and went to the army, that didn't find me in the Gambia. This is why I was unable to recognize him. I saw that picture before we left Liberia. But if things were done rightly, that's the way it should have happened. But our leaders forced themselves to come. Who came? Well, if I can remember, those who came, Domingo came.
Who's Domingo?
Malon Domingo.
The late Domingo.
The late Domingo.
From Nyumi.
What Sise?
Mod Sisi.
Mod Sise from Nyomi.
Tule ning kukwe kudeta ke 81 iborta idunda.
He was the guy who decided to stage that coup d'etat in 81.
Abdu Kumba Sar.
But he ran away.
Memfanda delayed.
And the late Iko Atodu?
Abdu Kumba Sar.
Abdu Kumba Sar.
Yeah. All of these people were generals.
Yes, all of them were generals.
So
but when they came, what they left here with, we didn't know.
But if you have rebel generals coming to lieutenant head of state, obviously it's an unholy combination. Okay, things didn't work out. And you resolved to come and overthrow the government of the Gambia.
Yes.
And this was in 1996.
96.
Yes,
so
96.
you were in Kaulach, and you have another group in Tambakunda.
And yes, those people at Tambakunda, we had that they were already arrested. So the ones who were in Kaula, which was us, we attacked the Farafenni camp. Myself,
Kabiro
Demba, late Ablai Sonko,
Balo
Kante,
Karamojiba,
Kebasano, I think that's it.
Yeah, the Invincible, the late.
The late Invincible.
Yadram.
Even Invincible is late.
Invincible fanambantale.
He died in the jail.
Oh, may his soul rest in peace. You were 7.
Yes.
And you came to Gambia without weapons.
Gambia and
Yes, we had guns. But if they were guns manufactured by our blacksmiths, it wasn't good. Not good at all.
So how did you manage?
It's just like council. We were used to fighting. May Allah forgive us. Huh? What we saw with our eyes in Liberia, well, what I can do is to give thanks to Allah. So that because today I see myself sitting now with this. Well, that's great thanks to Allah. Because where I was, if I happen to die there, it can nothing can be said about it. Well, it's Allah who takes care of His creative. Whatever Allah says, that's what happens.
Well, if you are invincible, you can dodge bullets.
But you see, fighting, people think that it is arms that do the fighting. Yes, true, arms participate in fighting, but fighting is done with the heart. The time we were fighting against jet fighters, wherever we didn't go, if you have Liberians there, they will run away and leave the whole place. The sound of the jet fighter, only the sound, has made many pregnant women to deliver. No, fighting is not only weapons, it is with bravery.
But you had judges Liberians didn't have.
Yes, you have very, very good judges. If somebody tells you, you might deny it. If somebody shoots you with an RPG, somebody
who is folding.
A cowtail will just shake the cowtail. If he shakes the cowtail and tells the RPG bullet to drop here, that's where it will drop. There are things that you rub on your body.
This is interesting, but we have to avoid the overlap.
Sorry.
Our people here, they give you jujus to tie on your body, which prevents bullets. That's not there. That's not there. If they give it to you, and the moment you turn your back, they will shoot you. And these are prepared by very small boys.
And those things worked.
And wokol kana tama.
Liberia.
Liberia.
Allah
endowed them.
How many people died in your presence?
La moja le fata ite
nyala.
My own people.
Ntolla mol mem fata nyala je fon ngofula ronamde.
I think only
kolale Domingo Fada ning General Jackson.
Two people died in my presence, but after I left, that's the time when Domingo and General Jackson died.
How about Liberians?
Liberians also.
How about Liberians?
Liberians died in groves. Because they drink and use drugs.
But how about all those champs? They forgot to wear them or to rub themselves on them?
If you hear a juju is protecting you, you have to protect yourself first. If you don't protect yourself, jujus will not protect you.
All right. So, in November 1996,
November 1996,
7 of you, battle-hardened Gambian, how would I call them, mercenaries from Liberia?
However you say it, there is nothing wrong with it.
Thank you very much. You came to Farafenni.
Farafenni.
Tell us what happened.
When we came to Farafenni, we went there with 2 local guns. These local guns, which were manufactured by blacksmiths.
Before
we went, what we said was that let's try and capture the camp. That was our mission, to capture the camp. And when we went, we went through the back gate.
You had served in Farafenni?
Yes, I was in Farafenni.
So you understood the terrain?
I was taken to Farafenni on 2 occasions. Huh? The late Ndur Cham. We were all part of the engineering unit. And he liked me a lot in those days. Wherever he is going to, he will ask me to go with him. When he was being transferred to Farafenni, that's how he took me along to Farafenni until I completed my time there. Yes.
So,
when we came through the back gate, we found the sentryman smoking cigarette.
You sentryman, you are smoking.
I said to him, sentryman, you are smoking. No bullet was fired there. We don't have AK-47. We had these local guns, which weren't even good. He just threw his gun and ran away. No gun was fired at the Farafenni camp. I didn't see it there.
So they all melted?
That's how they all left the camp.
Because
Biransen,
High Court.
He said this at the High Court.
Invincible around 8 o'clock officer
it was Biransen who, it was Invincible who found Biransen in the mess room and arrested him there.
Allowed the interpreter to land.
And told him to sit down.
No.
He said, no, no, no.
For High Court.
I myself said that at the High Court. He said to him, this man is a captain. He didn't do anything to you. Give him the respect. That's how we captured him. Because when we attacked the place, we broke the armory first. And in that armory also, apart from AK, there was only one RPG. The motors in there weren't good. We were there like that till daybreak. And we saw that there is no way to wait. Now it's daybreak. What are we going to do? And I said, no, let's advance then. We took one driver. We put bullets and guns in that vehicle. We came all the way to Bobolong. That's where we met up with Peter Singate and his troop. And their shooting took place there. But nobody died there.
But in Farafenni, wasn't there a soldier who was injured?
They said soldiers died there. But I didn't see it.
Did you shoot?
No. No.
Well, it was 7 of you.
I took the Quran and swore. I didn't fire at Farafenni. But I fought really in Liberia.
And in Baobolong?
When we met at Bobolong, we met with Peter there, with his troop.
So,
we shot each other there because it was already daylight. They dispersed so that they can try and capture us. So we were in the middle. That's how we maneuvered and went into the bush. Myself and Esa Balde, the two of us went together. We spent the night in the bush like that. They saw the others, but they didn't see us. The following day, we came back. We came and roasted some groundnuts. And one lady came and told us that soldiers were looking for people around here. Then I said, we are also looking for... That's how we crossed Bobolong and went along up to Farafenni. But it was at night. We came to the border. That's how we tried and looked for a vehicle. We crossed and went to Kaulach.
How about your weapons?
We threw all those arms away. Because in Senegal, in those days, if they see guns with you, they'll say you are one.
You have to allow the interpreter to land. Thank you. So you escaped. But what's interesting is when you took over the camp, what did you do to the soldiers who were there?
There was no soldier. Except Biram Sen, whom we captured.
All the others melted. They all ran away.
I didn't see any soldier there, God knows.
What happened to the vehicle that you had stocked with arms and ammunition?
We maneuvered and got into the bush. We dispersed, others went one way, and myself and Ensa, we went the other way.
Did you see anybody who was shot amongst you? Any person amongst you who was shot?
Yes, someone was shot in our group. Balo was shot on the leg, and the bullet is still in his leg up to this date. Suleiman Sar also suffered a broken leg as a result of a gunshot.
You did not mention Suleiman Sar. That would make you 8.
Okay. Yes.
Then
Did all of you escape?
Atul be na takanale bang.
ha yalon suto kabring ma kan keta.
After the engagement in the
Lo
night,
fon le modol bordan kotol.
some of our people even left us
Bordale.
and they ran away.
Os karamo jiba bordale.
Because Karamo Jiba ran away,
Kabiro demba maje.
we did not see Kabiro Demba,
E basa no maje.
we did not see Kebasano.
Ndol molulo do no traje.
So it was only the 5 of
So
us who
balo
were
ma
left.
ke so Suleiman Sarma.
Sol Balo?
Balo
Kesoyama.
Kesoyama, Suleiman Sar Kesoyama.
Okay, Suleiman Satu was shot.
Then nata tawol nyama ntani Isa.
So I went along with Isa,
Ata ntela former wife
Esa what? Esa
Isa Balde.
Isa Balde.
So that would make you 9.
Ta kamta ko atul mo konon tolon.
Amma Isa to vono.
No.
Oh, I didn't call Isa's name.
Kabiru Demba, Ablai Sonko, Mbalo Kante, Karamo Jiba, Keba Sano, Invincible, Suleiman Sar, Esa Balde, and yourself.
Then tell former wife mu Senegalese tunu.
My former wife was a Senegalese,
Nata for Isa ngata auto.
so I told Isa, let's go there.
Yo ba kabin tata auto.
But when we went there,
Na jesu yeso no jubenka intatu no la jam.
after looking at that situation there, I told him we couldn't stay here.
Nata one of my brother.
At that time, one of my brother,
Nata will address odin.
they gave me his address.
Obe Dakar ka fo quartier ume Pikin nyari tali lemba mal.
Nyari Tali.
He was in Dakar at a place called Pikin Nyaritali.
Yo bot Sulema Abulai Sonko boy meng recruit no.
But the boy that was recruited by Ablai Sonko,
Ikafa Yusufa.
called Yusufa,
Yusufa Silla.
Yusufa Silla,
Amra ko Silla la brodalam.
I think Coach Silla's brother, yes,
Amra la brodalam.
I think it's his brother.
So ntol nata ta wole ya.
So we went to him.
Oh, sorry, before ngaf futawoma.
Even before we got
Nata ta
to him,
duba jia.
we went to Dudu Baji.
Inta man duba ji lon ka tolong moy.
I did not know Dudu Baji.
Mo la Martin du.
I only heard his name, but he
Kabum
was
fere ja konyo ko atolo kay sa alhamdulillah.
Kuko's man.
Akonye bot fenke kana fenke Edward Sungate na jam with 12 million.
He said Edward Singate came here with 12 million
Ni momo yala mute bo dilal.
for as a reward for anyone that captures you.
12 million what?
For 12 million
12
dollars
million
in bank. For CFA and Bamaro.
Whether it was Dalasi or Safer, I do not know.
You don't na bota walton tata ni Yusufa.
So we left there and went to Yusufa.
After Yusufa into local Kalangon already.
At that time, Yusufa already knew about our situation,
And Untolman Dakar fanalong.
and we were not also acquainted with
Na
Dakar.
address on him mendiala.
The address that we gave him,
Yusufa nyol fangolo suko no yarfa ina ABG.
in fact, inside Yusufa's compound, there was an NIA agent there,
In Dakar.
In Dakar fango.
inside Dakar,
Charoy.
in Sharoy. Yes.
Untol bota walton tata.
So we left there and went.
I bring Allah so man dambet tamala Dakar sato kon.
Since morning, we are working
In
within Senegal,
Dakar.
just
Ni Gambia fara batale.
just inquiring about someone does
Kata
not
mo
make
ngini
you,
ke ka kon ko kara ko hawma ko.
and just does not make you find him. It's not like the Gambia.
Tol
If you,
tamata kabrin Allah so man dam man do mo kon ko ben.
Council, you may have to intervene here, please.
Could you allow for 3 seconds between your speech and that of the interpreters?
3 seconds sabad rumbula ining kana sor langin tema.
Thank you. Rambo.
Continue saying.
For ala ning ken ning killing.
By God's grace and one man,
Nga ngini nga kabrin nga kayro itandala.
I asked him, and when I showed him the paper,
Bari o ken di mo morolti.
well, that man was a
Mala
marabu,
Martin Muji.
was a marabu, a big one.
Nata fonye ko atul bodo mi nga explain ai.
Then he asked, where are you from? And I explained to him.
Then anata fonye mordol be jana bari anata restaurant.
He said to me, there is one marabu over there, but let's go to the restaurant.
Oy nsamba restaurant ai domro sanye.
He took us to the restaurant and bought us food
Drink so sanye.
and bought us drinks.
Na anata udlato taman senye.
Then he gave us the direction to that place.
Atam kabrin futata auto.
When we got there,
Kaya ko karling ininga.
I said to him, we are asking for so-and-so person.
Kontela.
And he said, I am the one.
Attended.
And he was not the one.
Ate amira ko comment on nata moria do ko wala dal.
He thought that we had come to do some marabu work.
Kaya ko ye karlo no bang.
I said to him, do you know so-and-so person?
ko hani
He said no.
ka hani woto tente
I said to him, then you are not the one.
to le on be do mem mutana
That route that we took,
ko futa don sering tuba la natalo be kordapta story building ol yara vanjelam
as we took a bend, the Sherin Tuba's photograph was on the wall. That was the place, but we had gone past it.
ko dum tatan ko salam alaikum alaikum salam
We went and greeted,
nakayto itandila
and I showed them the paper.
ga karren kay ko nyala bunjam
I said to them, we are asking for so and so person, and they told me,
tatan
this
sita
is,
kendi ngola bungo kono
this is his story building. We went inside,
do ngamuso jabe wuler ne pataw
we got into his room, and then we saw a very fair in complexion woman.
sar ci fa kan na mojo na balu
She bleached her skin.
yara fa mu spiralty
She bleached her skin, the type that I have never seen before in my life. Behold, she was a spy. Oh God.
muso jita
The woman came down.
ani janni ba for like seconds
Even before you talk about seconds.
na karen atuma rasta hatol ben tokundu
That time I had a Rasta hat on.
yen taman sai fo pareta
Already they had described me to her already. All of this one is like this one is like this. And that was how we were. They grabbed us, they pounced on us, and they pounced on the marable too. I told them this man has not done nothing wrong. Listen.
That
was how they dragged us to their police station.
So who pounced on you?
The Senegalese NIA.
Okay.
They did that. But this Yusufa, he sent the message to them. That was why they captured us. When they took us to their place, the police station, they took our statements, said yes. You are in this country, we knew about your presence here, but we did not know that you were... And I told them, what is it about? They said the problem that happened in Farafenni. And I told them, we have nothing to do with it. We don't know anything about it. They said to us, look, we know everything about your activities, and there's no need for you to try to hide anything here. I said to them, well, it's true. What you have said is the truth. But now,
24 hours
give us 24 hours and we'll leave your country. What do you want to do? They said, we are repatriating you back to the Gambia. I said, well, taking us back to the Gambia, and they said yes. I said, that is not going to be an easy thing. We spend the night there. The morning time, I think it's the general or police commander, but it's a very high official. He came and said to us, now we are taking you to the Gambia. I said to him, brother, and he said yes. I said, but we caused a problem in the Gambia. And you have arrested us and you want to return us to the Gambia. Prince Johnson. He killed Samuel Doe. But why did he run away and took refuge in Nigeria?
Right now, I feel like a senator.
Right now, here he is, he's a senator.
In Liberia.
In Liberia. If I do something wrong in my country, and you don't like me,
24 hours,
give me 24 hours and I will leave your country. And instead of taking me back. It's not nice that way. But it's because of money. They said there was an agreement between Gambia and Senegal. I said, well, so be it. Where I came from is much more difficult or hard than where you are talking about. The same one God who spared me from Liberia. And even if I return to Gambia, the same God, if he wants to spare me, he will spare me. They said, well, we are taking you.
Special flight.
They took us in a special flight. They came and picked Suleiman Sar in Kaulak.
In the airport.
And we landed at the airport.
Which airport?
Airport Juma?
International Airport.
Our very own Banjul International Airport. As soon as I came down the stairs, Babakar Jata said to me, Dampha, what are you laughing about? I said to him, what am I laughing? I did not even answer them. They took us in a vehicle.
Were
and we
you
sat
in chains?
inside.
Sila yal blue city le.
Yes, we were cuffed.
Airport or dato.
But from the airport gate,
Carbon the president holokana. You will come back firing Hadamading on the tap.
you will think it's a president to come in. The highway was thronged with people on both sides. I think they told them that we have captured the guys. That was why that large crowd came out. That was how they took us to the NIA. When they took us to the NIA, it was in the night. Where they took us in is the place they call Bambadinka. But we were stripped naked just as we were born. And we were handcuffed behind our backs. And there were many mosquitoes. Some of the soldiers, they'll put their pistols in the holes there and threaten to shoot me. And some of them will say, some of you are lucky. If somebody was here, he would have killed you. But Suleiman's injury, when they broke, they took us from there to another cell. But there too, we were still handcuffed behind our backs.
And
I think we spent about 2 days there.
Third day in Samba television.
On the third day, we were paraded before the television. We spoke. After we...
What did you say on television?
The same statement I said. What I said, yeah, the same thing, that they came, found me in my house in Tanje. They mobilized me and took me to Liberia. That was what I said on television. The same thing I am saying today.
Did you say on television that you attacked the country?
Yes.
Were you forced to say that?
At the time, you mean? No. They did not force me.
It was a plain confession.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, proceed, please.
After that, that was when the NIA started their work.
We are interested in that.
We were handcuffed behind our backs. They will sit you on the floor. The air condition is on. And whatever part of your body they are beating down. The machine that they use to charge car batteries, that is what they use to electrocute people. They will put one on your toe, one in your ear. But when they press that, even while that air condition is on, you'll be sweating. You don't even know what is happening. The beating is going on. The beating is going on. When they are tired, they will take you back.
Okay, tell us who in the NIA was responsible for meting out this torture on you.
What number one? Fodebari, number one.
Salmina Drame number 2.
Salmina Drame number 2.
No, we'll say that because Salmina,
he comes from the same place as I have come from. There's only a path between our compounds. And the day that I was arrested and I was sitting down, he said, these people, we should not waste bullets on them. We should just take them to the Burua reserve and throw them for the lions. I raised my head and I looked at Salmina and I bowed down again. The God who is one, Salmina came and found me in mile 2. But I did not wish that for him. But just that in this world, people should be very careful.
And who else was responsible for torturing you?
Baba Dindin Jobate.
Baba Dindin Jobate was there. He was not doing the beating. God knows, he did not beat me.
Was he present?
Yes, he was there sitting down.
Did he see you tortured whilst he was there?
Yes, he was sitting.
Did he stop it?
No.
Did he say anything, Baba Dindin Jobate?
Now and then, if they say they want to do something, I used to hear him.
Allow the interpreter.
Now and then, when they want to do something, I used to hear him to tell them to stop. But that was not in all occasions.
Would you say that he was against your torture?
Sometimes he will refuse it, sometimes he accepts. I think sometimes when things get so very difficult for me, you feel sympathetic for me, and that's when he asks him to stop.
In fact, what you're saying is that Baba Dindin Jobate, a lawyer, former attorney general, and one-time judge, was complicit to your torture.
Baba Dindin Jobate, mi alon ko ane neketal amu loyalty, amu attorney general, anu watu amu justice minister letu. Afananda be nunjele kabri be ibegin kuja oke kangala no.
Be tajiriya.
Bri bal tajiriya kan no.
Yes, I can say that he was part of it.
That is a serious accusation. Do you know that?
Baba Dindin Jobate came and found me in prison. I will not lie against him. In fact, he's my guy. It's not worth it. Harisambu. He's more wicked than all of them. He's the one who lights the fire. Because each time he comes in and goes out, that's when things start getting terrible.
Why do you say that?
When Harisambu comes, wherever he got his order from, I do not know. But he comes and tell them, do not have any mercy for these people. Beat them mercilessly.
So you have mentioned 3 people as being involved in your torture. Odebari? You mentioned that, correct?
Yes.
Salmina Drame?
Yes.
Baba Dindin Jobate? And now you mentioned Harisambu. Unprompted, you mentioned Harisambu.
Hani momenyininka ihar toko. Tofo. Yes, I had forgotten about his name, but his name should have been the number 1.
Why do you say that?
Maybe someone else will come here who will tell you about Harisambu's deeds. I do not know what position he held at the time at the NIA, but he was not an easy man.
But what do you mean by other position among easy? What do you mean by that?
Niko among easy. Isa ofiri no bang.
You know, these other ones, when they are doing their things, they don't talk. But when he comes, he tells them to beat him. And he doesn't hide it. So you hear him say that yourself.
In a sense, you are saying that he would come and order your continuous torture.
Yes.
That is a serious allegation.
And that is what happened also.
You are on the oath. Did he order
an oath, and that is also what happened.
Did he order your torture? When
he says beat them up, then he gave the order. Yes.
For how many times have you been tortured at the NIA?
La yeli pa sinya jelle wala tay tajini ya sinya jelle NIA.
Moto continue.
No one can count that. God just spared us.
How many times were you electrocuted?
Sinya jelle al kurango kal bala sinya jelle la.
That is on a daily basis.
But you had already confessed.
I
think they were just wicked or hard-hearted.
Were you only tortured at the NIA? Were you tortured elsewhere?
Lang yallipa NIA da malto blado to fanan fo yallipa nungele ba
ya ko boni nyodo man ngamur e ma NIA manje jamamba fo.
If you would excuse me a little bit, let's return to the NIA because there are things I have not completely said.
Please.
When we were in NIA, the entire time we did not have chance to wash. One day they told us, let's go so that you can take bath. I said to them, let's go. We went to the bathroom. The handcuffs were still in my hands, and they told me to wash, take a bath like that. I said, no, well, then let me go back. So all the time that we spent there, all the time our hands were cuffed behind our backs. But that is also wisdom, because not everybody can do it. Because when night falls, we used to remove it from the back and bring it to the front. And when day breaks, we return our hands to our backs. That is wisdom. It's easy, but I will not demonstrate that here.
No, we would want to see it. We would want to see it. But anyway, proceed. For how long were you detained at the NIA?
Later to NIA for what you
NIA bring November 13.
From November 13 until January, that was when we left the NIA.
What were you doing there?
Just sheer wickedness. We are just lying on the floor. Only a few were lying on the beds.
At what stage were you return your clothes?
What kind of clothes? Talk about them bringing back racks to us. We'll get there too. I have forgotten one thing also. I swore by the Quran. What happened, I will tell. And I will not leave the path.
Why we are here.
The time that we were at the NIA, I don't know whether they used to be angry with us or what, I don't know. The food that they gave us was small, but the food came from the army barracks.
Senior officer and
the senior officers, all of them that are in the National Army, there is no one amongst them who does not know me. I'm not sitting here promoting myself. But I wasn't the type of soldier that they will normally refer to as a bad cow. Whatever was an original NIA, and that person was trained by the British. All of them knew me. Fraser Juve and Samsar came because Fraser Juve taught me in...
No,
Samsar taught me in Pakaliba. Samsidin Sar.
Then not for Fraser Juve major.
And I told Fraser Juve, who was a major.
Yes.
I said to him, major, and he said yes. I said we used to eat, but not to our full. Our fill. He said, is that true? I said yes. He said, but I will tell the man in charge of the country. The following day, we used to eat until we'll throw some away.
And you were happy about that? But still you are not giving back your clothes.
hani fo nyai malla fengo se ndalma
Man na fengol sendi mat.
Our clothes were not returned back to us.
You are still chained behind your back.
ndungi blol bebe kenringi koma
Ah, keno ben kom.
Yes, our
You
hands
are
were
still
cuffed behind.
sleeping with the mosquitoes in the cell.
albela ka wole nyama ngi susulal kono
Ah, fonko kerken son galla wala ka.
Yes, and we lay on the bare floor.
Were you ever given medical treatment while you were at the NIA?
nene kal jara nu ngeli kabri benung enaye
Ha doctor kana je.
Yes, doctors came there.
Ñoo falin.
They used to comment on.
Were you ever given the chance to speak to a lawyer?
le natal sole pour ali loya ngi ñini bang
Ntola loya wo mbo futara woto fana nim futara court.
Well, our lawyer, when we reach the stage where we talk about the court,
Between November and January, were you given the chance to speak to a lawyer?
lan ka bon november kata fo january karoto yal sole pour ali alni loya dia
Ni anana man soto.
no, it never happened.
So, is there anything else you want to tell us about your time at the NIA?
lan fana kudo fana bijere bela fla kamin fontoli wato mina albesiring enaye
Oh, na ye men kata na jen ko ngolo faten sabu auto bandale.
What happened to me at the NIA is what I narrated, and I think that is all of it.
Now let's go to the prison.
ilangata kaso kono
Ben samala mile 2 wato men na.
When we were being taken to mile 2,
Benta on Wednesday le fi.
it was on a Wednesday.
Anunga kilo ba kan oto ma Wednesday ko kombi folta.
Because I remember in those days, on Wednesdays, they used to cook corned beef.
Wo kata momor sise la time olla.
But that was during Mamadou Sisse's time.
Oto ma commission
Maudo Sise or
Momodu Sise.
Mamadou Sisse.
Amara banyun ko mbara no Angleterre five problem mo solo je ba mala I don't know.
I think he was a
Sanda mo matino.
Banjulian who went to England, had a problem.
Oto ma David Coleman nade.
He was a former Zandam officer. At the time, David Colley was not yet around.
Kabri en Sambaji.
When they took us there,
Ke ba kelimbe jata mu sukutan ko dabara a retire tele ka find daw.
there was one old man there from Sukuta called Ndao who was retired.
Ala ngoto ma mile 2
You know, at the time, mile 2,
97.
97,
Dolbe duna wato ani mile 2 sama fata batale.
the time that we were taken inside and the condition of mile 2 today are different.
Iman kidding.
They are not the same.
Dolbe duna je lumena.
The day that we were going in there,
Babar kensan le beji.
they were only planks,
Babar kensan.
just empty planks.
Bari inate le babaro bondi ya bondi bungo kono.
But they removed those planks from the rooms.
Mosquito net kotol membe fon bunda to je number 1 cell.
And the old mosquito nets that were at the door at number 1 cell, they went and removed them to
Membe parenti roto membe nyato
those that are at the window and at the door
susulali yanki.
so that the mosquitoes would bite us.
In 20 liter bidon
The 20-liter gallons,
yolo kuntu
it was what they cut from the top.
overtala.
And there was no cover.
Wala munna sumuna round.
And that was where we could ease ourselves on.
Antaka mile to murumuru wala.
You know, you went on a visit to mile 2,
Kunta kinde nana mo itandal.
but they never showed you a place called Kunta Kinte.
There is a place called Kunta Kinte.
la
Nebe je
bijere
ka fo
kamin
me
to
kunta
fo
kinte.
kunta kinte
There is a place they call Kunta Kinte.
Fenne beje ka fo me kunta kinte.
There is something they call Kunta Kinte.
E kunta kinte nyul samba jolo men na kabiri be tubabol be samba.
The boat that took Kunta Kinte when
Iron leko
the iron legs that they put on Kunta Kinte when they were being taken by the Europeans.
Oh, the shackles.
Thank you.
Or the shackles. Okay.
Beje
They are there.
tol futa follow yewole ta ya ken simoto.
The first time we arrived there, those were the ones that they used, they put on our feet.
Han ko fo ben blood.
And our hands were cuffed.
Galla fulo ken simola kan wonyam.
We lay on the empty floor.
Toto tarta won nyamale.
We were in that state,
Men siata karifulas kare sabati.
which was for 2 or 3 months.
While at the mile 2 prison, were you ever tortured?
silan kabara be no mal to ni na li pal jele ba
Buka ma tu minen tol fala won.
They nearly killed us there at mile 2.
do mala wote
O jarol.
The soldiers,
Ma tu prison officers wol famo.
even the mile 2 prison officers themselves.
Like who?
comme jumanyol
Chef la ya jaju atele ke tambindina.
Sefla Jaji used to lead them.
Modlamin Sisi.
But Lamin Sise,
Tiana barabuka molip.
Tiana, but he doesn't beat people.
Who else?
Ni manga plumber.
And the manga plumber.
There's 2 manga there, but Nico manga plumber, everybody know him.
There were 2 mangas, but if you called him a manga plumber, everybody knew him. These were his torturers.
Every day, every week.
If we were not beaten every day, be rest assured that every week they were going to come to beat us up. And when he comes, he will tell us, human dinkas, you have come to destroy this country. This was the thing he constantly said until he had a problem with Sana Sabale.
Who was that?
Yaya Jaju.
Yaya Jaju.
Sefla.
Why were you beaten?
I don't know the reason. But by God's grace, anywhere you go to in this world, there are always good people.
Were they torturing you because they wanted to punish you, or were they torturing you at the behest of somebody else?
First time, kabri batol lipaka, bal lipaka ne ko laftal kulula leba, wala mola ya marola atne bal lipaka.
Well, I can only say that they were just beating us up to please themselves.
How many times were you beaten in mile 2?
Nobody can count that, my brother. I said for 2 years we were in shackles.
Complete 2 years.
Complete 2 years we were on shackles. Our feet were shackled.
Interior Minister.
When Osman Baji was appointed as Interior Minister, when he came for the visit, that was when those shackles were taken off our feet.
97 at 498 November.
From 97 to November 98, the shackles were on our feet. We lie down with them and we wake up with them on.
For 2 years?
Complete 2 years, yes.
Complete 2 years, yes.
Nearly 2 years.
Nearly 2 years.
I want you to run us through some of the torture sessions you went through at mile 2.
Sila laftale puriyan samba ka tandimoli in liparisi fa nyadi le kalda mile 2.
Yalon na court wato.
During our court time,
prison officers so like a samba court.
We were usually taken by prison officers. But at that time, when the court is on, the students never would usually not go to school because they always wanted to see us. Because this was something that they never saw before. The torn shirts. Oh, shorts. We had no shoes on our feet. And the chains were clinging on each other and making noise. And that was how we went into until we took the witness box. They never took that from our feet. And when they are taking us, they used to take us in a truck. They will park the truck under the sun until around 4. When the court comes to an end, when we get into the vehicle, they will tell us to lie down on the vehicle like that. We lie flat on our bellies. And the heat used to burn our bellies until we get to mile 2. When you get to mile 2 and you alight, before we get into confinement, you'll be slapped and kicked until you get into the cell. We were in that state until our court came to an end. There has never been any day that we went to court and we were not beaten.
Could you identify those that participated in torturing you?
When I can recall at that time, Jagide. He was
Did you say Jagide?
Yes, he was their leader. He was issued a special vehicle at the time. He was the one there.
How did he torture you, Jagide?
Huh? He does not beat anyone. But he was a commander there. And when the beating sessions were going on, he was always present, but he does not touch anyone.
Did he have any authority to stop it?
For kango ba bijele mi alon ko wasate londino pray akana wo kur ke ka.
Yes, he could have done so, but he never said it.
Would you say that he was an accomplice to your torture?
For isafono for atele wo at ni alla tajriya be mi ke kan atele be wo beta mandika.
Well, if you see a child beating someone and an elderly person is present and that person says nothing, it means that elderly person too is part of what is happening.
So tell us who tortured you in the presence of Jagite?
You know, at the time, I did not know the soldiers. I don't think I know anyone amongst them at the time. Amudu Khan, a very hefty guy, tall guy. He used to beat people until he would tear their shirts. Amudu Khan.
Which service did he belong to?
Deboda kanto bunda juma.
Amudu Mala section jumale.
I don't know what section he belonged to.
Prison, army, NIA, or police?
Soldier.
He was a soldier. Yes.
Anyone said if I say captain now. And not a belly India Bakao.
And one Sedi?
Sedi, I think it's from Sedi Fai.
Sedi Fai.
They say he's a captain now. Not a found belly India New Campacao.
We did our childhood together with him in Bakau Kachika. Wandifa.
As a Fanamu torture Rabalti.
He too was a big torturer. And they say now that he's a captain.
Tell us why you say he was a big torturer.
I saw him with my own eyes beating people. He beat me myself.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have mentioned two people who have beaten you.
Yes.
Wandifa. Amudu Khan. And you said the other torturers were Sefla Yaya Jaju, Modulamin Sise. You said Tiana did not participate.
No, Tiana that
Manga Plumber, he participated. Jagite would be there, but he would not say anything. He also was a complicit to your torture. That's what you said.
Yes.
Who else participated in torturing you?
But I think these are the only ones I know.
I will not ask you about the conditions at Mile 2 prisons because we have received a lot of evidence on that.
Mile 2 tara nyabe nyamin tete nyini kala wala because ngasi dia jamali to wala kola.
Along tolbe je wato menna.
You know, when we were there,
Mile 2 manka ko Mile 2.
That time Mile 2 was not like Mile 2.
Was Otumahani media and Babar Jaro Lebiji.
That time, even in the mania, you had only planks of wood. When we had some peace was when
some reprieve.
Some reprieve was when
Deputy Commissioner Jobate.
When the Deputy Commissioner Jobate. He was someone who was very, very sympathetic, but he was moved to the para.
David Koto.
He was under David. Because Caesar did not spend a long time there.
Complete 6 months.
Because I stayed there for complete 6 months. We went there in January. And everybody knows that in the month of January it's usually cold in the Gambia. But when we asked Yaya for blankets which we'll use to cover ourselves, he used to tell us that the financial year has not yet come, and until that time comes, they cannot provide blankets for us. But through the help of God,
after 6 months,
Jobate was someone who was sympathetic to us, and he tried and was able to secure some blankets for us. But that was only after 6 months.
When was the first time you were allowed to see a lawyer?
Before we could see a lawyer,
International Red Cross,
We met with the International Red Cross. And that was the first time that we started to get reprieve.
Was need another prison.
Because when they come to the prison,
Officer Bukataraji.
There was usually no officer.
And
you sit with them and have a discussion.
And you can write later.
And you can also write a letter. And when you write a letter, they will take it to David Colley and he will look at it. And then they will take it to your family.
Still we are alive.
That was the time that some of us, some families of some of the inmates knew that they were still alive.
When was the first time you met a lawyer?
Silang alnada lawyer je watu jumal.
Tolla lawyer je o minata watu la de banna lawyer mu for Robin Soklem Bamalo.
I forgot the time.
Raymond Sock.
Raymond Sock, ha.
I forgot the time, but our lawyer was Raymond Sock.
And in Amate, the late Amate.
And the late Amate.
Government lawyers.
They were our first lawyers, but those were government lawyers.
You did not personally hire them directly?
No, we were given them by government.
Through the legal aid scheme?
Legal aid
scheme. Yes.
And did you see a lawyer anytime in between the first 3 months of your arrest and detention?
Sila itinata lawyer jele alla muto follow le wakari sabol kono alinata lawyer jele ba
ntenga America brimbe lawyer jele ngawol je courthouse ndi lawyer na man na matu muneka fo matu mendi na appeal court
kwalla muto kono muto kariso kono.
We never saw any lawyer in Mile 2.
So are you suggesting to us that you are represented by counsel who never spoke to you before your trial?
Lawyer wole belurang liye mi alon kal nene na man diamu alla kiti wala kola.
Kata wala nyang kan tolla time o lawyer le fam membe sona pour ko lon toliye man ye mo be ki yola farandi.
Yes, that was what happened. In fact, at that time, you could not find any single lawyer who was brave enough to defend us because everybody was terrified of the government.
So you were prosecuted and convicted?
Ah, yes.
You are sentenced to what?
Natal sorong purum nyaadile.
Dolam date sentence for the ya jamela Masakunda.
We were the ones that were first sentenced to death under Yajame's government.
That's June 20, 1990. Until a court Tariata 97, the same 97.
Our court was
3 months.
Our court was very quick, not more than 3 months.
Nuntola court ma allow lawyer Taraji.
They did not allow any lawyer to be present there.
No. There
was no lawyer in our court until the end of
You mean what happened to Mr. Raymond Sock? Didn't he appear?
Silang Mr. Raymond Sock la kodu Fatima nalo wali ko.
Okay, kabiri ben sentence la beji.
Yes, when we were being sentenced, he was there.
How about the trial?
Lang kitio watu do.
Kitio watu abeji.
During the trial, he was there.
So what do you mean by there was no lawyer?
Sila niko lawyer mantra lori ngatuli jigal kabri
bal
kita.
Ninga ka funyere fo kabri albe mal tu comme lawyer kanal jubeji.
No.
I thought you meant
nga imo fulor fo won ko le lotanye.
These lawyers stood for us. These two.
How did you plead to the charges?
Lan nata na jabiro kenyari le yal tumi minna leo jabiro kenyari le.
Ko niya mo ibe sona tumuro le yakele.
Well, if you hear someone accepting allegations, it's something that one has done.
Dola kuwa critical that the council.
Our case was critical, council.
Adundola problem wakati nyami.
Because the way our problem happened was.
Maninko la kumo ko ninjalo singo be foro kantanta mbuka kosi.
Ni jalo singo buka be foro kantanta mbuka kosi. Who want him?
When the drummer's feet is on the stick that they used to beat, the drum does not make noise.
You can't drum at all.
Yes.
Okay, so Did you plead guilty or you pleaded not guilty?
Sila ngato le mune jabi sontale yal tumi min na fo alman sonno kiti watol.
Mansong.
We did not.
But you pleaded, you confessed on national television.
Wari nata na song teleto.
That you did it.
O tele ake atole
Most is on no teleto, but not at a court.
One can accept over television, but when you go to court,
What for no local? I mean for maybe a monk has out.
the court may also be able to come to the conclusion that perhaps what he said was not through his own will.
But in any case, you were convicted.
Yes,
Sentenced to death.
Death sentence.
we are sentenced to death.
And this was in 1997.
And 1997 sangola.
97.
Yes,
For how
97.
many years did you serve?
Sila ite sangi jelle ke kaso kono.
I'm 19 years for 9 months. I wrote 19 years 3 months.
I think it's 19 years, 9 months, or 19 years, 3 months.
And what happened? How did you come to be released?
Sila ite nata na funti kaso kono nyadile.
Yeah, Jamila pardon no man.
Yeah, Jeremy gave a pardon.
2015.
In 2015, the pardon he extended.
The general pardon, July 22nd,
General
was it?
pardon.
General pardon, yes. We were amongst those that were pardoned.
While serving your sentence, were you ever tortured?
Sila kabri bela kabri soro ina nene lipaleba.
Ah,
Yes?
I don't mind two Benjamin.
The way mile 2 is,
Ntebe danro kalen ning amansasano.
I will appeal if the government should be able to do it.
Tolu found meta of folale.
And we have been saying this for a long time.
Ex-prisoner.
The ex-prisoners,
Ana manka director, but not a deputy director.
even if one of the ex-prisoner is not the director, but the deputy director,
My two be falling nale.
mile 2 will change.
Or prison, my two prison officers will be mile two.
For the prison officer that are at mile 2,
Council Walter mile two falling nola.
they cannot change mile 2 council.
Adungakilo bakang,
Because I can recall,
Mojamaka lojang,
many people stand here,
especially director men from Bashiri,
especially the current director,
ako number 5 cell,
that he said that number 5 cell,
99 cell lebeji.
there were 99 cells.
Oteji.
That is not there.
They 12 years like a number 1.
I spent 12 years in number 1.
Not 7 years like a number 5.
I spent 7 years in number 5.
Months.
And some months.
Number 5 90 cells let.
Number 5 is 90 cells.
Row nan lebeji.
There are 4 rows.
You are first row.
The first row,
26 cell lebeji.
26 cells are there.
Center row.
Center row,
24 cell lebeji.
24 cells are there.
Kampama.
Kampama end,
28 lebeji.
28 are there.
VIP.
VIP,
12 lebeji.
12 are there.
Your Kafnyuma is 90.
If you put that all together, it's 90.
They also have VIP?
Yes.
Telefona VIP soro.
VIP all tolbe old.
VIP, that was where we were.
Odo because of molo ni obe bunda to straight ni dunda ka olel katara on your left.
That is by the door. As you get inside, that's the ones on the left.
What makes it so special to earn the accolade, VIP?
Nana tolio tola la ko VIP.
Ye ni ko mo kumana number 5.
If you hear that an important person has come to number 5,
Abita osi rola.
that is where the person goes to.
Maja me ka sambaje.
That's where they take you to.
That's where they take the people like Rambo?
Sila ika mol samba mol kam dako Rambo.
Khalifa fa bo dulal.
Even Halifa Saleh was there.
Which Halifa Saleh?
Khalifa Saleh kilim.
The same one, Halifa Saleh.
Ahmad Baba number 4. Ntelning ojele be number 1.
Amadou Ba was number 4.
Ni na da ko ka intara number 1 ko
I was in number 4. Oje was number 4.
I heard there was a who is who in Mile 2 prison. You can have an entire cabinet. Except for the president in Mile 2.
Kon nga mwile ko nyaton kol bi nungile Mile 2.
Other than
Na
the
bota
president,
president wala kaymo nyaton kol
Minister of Justice Soron, the Chief Justice Soron.
the Minister of Justice was in prison, the Chief Justice was in prison. While I was there, the only person I did not see,
Fire service and in custom.
that was members of the fire service and the customs. Other than that, all others were imprisoned.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. No further questions.
Barakabake chairman sabeda min pareta sedo balale.
Thank you very much, Emma Council. Thank you, Mr. Dampha.
Chairman ko barakabake council
testimony.
barakabake Mr. Dampha ila sedi yarola.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, please indicate. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Imam si wolof.
Dampha jërëjëf.
Thank you, Dampha.
ñu ngi lay nuyu di la gërëm ci di coono bi.
We extend our greetings and also greet you for the hardships you have gone through.
li may laaj mooy seen ñaareel kaaj yu nekkoon Tamba naka lañ mujjee woon ñoom itam.
What I want to ask you about is the second half of your group that were left in Tamba. What became of them?
Imam Baraka Bak.
Thank you so much, Imam. This question is very, very important. Government has a lot of means. When we had that problem in Farafenni, they did not do anything in Senegal. They said they killed some people in Gambia here and they ran and entered into Senegal. They went, arrested them there, chained them, and brought them in that fashion up to Mile 2. But God always sides with the truth. They have not done wrong and anything wrong, and so when they went to court, they were all acquitted. Only Abdurrahman spent 15 years. He was in jail for 15 years and he never went to court. It was a Christian organization.
Mr. Witness, could you kindly allow for interpretation so we can have the full gist of what you said?
Pardon me, it's the machine that is heated.
Thank you. Commissioner Samba, you have the floor.
Omar Dampha, mbe hako danila mbe yamfo fanan danila yebata menke for Allah Ta'ala sajo.
We express our sympathies for the hardships that you have gone through. May you be rewarded by God.
Lafte nyini kala dimbaya la karola because wato men ebita kuko inoma.
I want to ask you about your family because the time that you went to meet Kukoe, I don't think your family knew about your whereabouts until the time that you were taken to prison. I want you to clarify that portion for me. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Well, human beings' affairs are in the hands of God. I said here earlier on that my first wife was a Senegalese. I think when I left here, until I got into all of these problems, I think it was her relatives that were assisting her. But she sat and waited. But then I said to my mother, someone that has sat down for 6 years, and here I am, I have been condemned to be killed. I have given her her freedom. If she sees a man that she wants to marry, she can go ahead and get married. But how they were living in terms of their sustenance, I cannot say anything about it.
So,
it's looked like you don't have any child. I had one. I had two. One died at a young age, and I only have a daughter now left.
Okay, thank you very much.
May she become a source of greater numbers for you.
Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I have two questions I want to ask. The first one is you've interacted with Kukoi. What kind of person would you say he is? How would you describe him?
Thank you so much, Commissioner. When you betray a human being, God will betray you. There is no crooked person in the whole world. There is none that I have ever seen in this world. The reason why I'm saying this to you, you take people's children and thrust them in the midst of battle. You don't even consider their rights. You don't even consider their sustenance. You have no sympathy for them. And then you remove them from that situation and put them into yet another thing. When we were imprisoned, this your question is a very good one. Kukwe came here. He sat down with Yajame and they had a discussion. OJ was a newspaper. OJ was the only one who wrote that on the newspaper, and we saw that. He said, how can Kukwe come and meet with Yajame when John Dampha and the others are in jail? And that was the truth. What did he say to them? He said, we are headstrong. He could not control us in Liberia. We stole his documents and we came to the Gambia. And that was not the truth. All the problems that we got into was as a result of Kukwe.
So you say he wasn't a trustworthy person. He wasn't somebody that could be trusted.
Thank you, Commissioner Ka. You are touching something here. You see, even while I was in Liberia, we used to pray to God. And that prayer is what God answered. We used to say that our being here, if at all our going to the Gambia is to bring trouble or mayhem to the Gambia, let God not take us. That was our peace. If we had allowed Kukwe to have, and it became a leader in Gambia here, it wouldn't have been good.
Final question is, you mentioned that there were many Gambians who had senior positions in various factions in Liberia. Including Kukwe himself. Do you know how they came to Liberia and how they became so powerful there?
Liberia
Libya.
You know
Maktaba.
Kukwe and Charles Taylor both came from Libya. So they came together. But don't judge him by what I'm saying. He's a very smart individual. The fighting in Liberia or the war, half of it was controlled by him. And Charles Taylor is someone who we know that he's not like these other leaders to push other people's children in and stay behind. Charles Taylor will carry his AK himself. And he goes to the battlefront himself. Because jet fighter left Afara. We stopped him ourselves because he was the jet fighters wanted to kill him. That was why we told him to stop going, because he was not like others who would give orders and then stay behind.
Thank you, and sorry for what you went through.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dampha. Two very short questions.
Mr. Dampha
Despite that you encountered in the car, how did you know that she was a spy, and where did she come from?
Any more Musuno may take Dakar. Idealo nyadi ko kullo sunyala.
Chairman, thank you very much. A human being, your brain ought to be smart. God has endowed a human being. It's left to you, yourself.
Musonyi.
The woman, when I set my eyes on her, where I was, I knew it. She said she came to look for the marabu. But that was not her reason for coming. I said she came down from the story building. Before you talk about 2 minutes, these guys came to arrest us. They sent her to find out because I had a Rasta hat on. They told her, go to this house, there are 2 individuals there, and they gave them our description. And no sooner has she left than these people come to arrest us. So that was why I said she was a spy.
Mike.
My apologies. When you went to Liberia with other Gambians, Yaya Jammeh was not in power in the Gambia. What was it that motivated you young guys to be involved in overthrowing governments, literally causing mayhem in the sub-region, whether or not all of you started your activities in Libya or not? Sankara, Rawlings, Taylor, you name it, for the Sanko, lot of problems in the region.
Muna ya sabu alto da tanar na bulanyin kujau si falto katara kujau keola na intundo kanjang ka katajire al ke dlukiral to men al kafuda mola men kamunta Sankare Rohing Sankara Rollins anim for the Sanko.
What was the motivating factor?
Muna Muhammad Kuwalti member kuwenyin koto. Muna alhamdi kabula kuwenyin koto.
Thank you very much. I'll start off from Liberia.
Chairman.
Liberia is a very blessed country.
Liberia 13 counties in Liberia.
There are 13 counties in Liberia. And I traversed all of them.
Iron ore.
If you talk about iron ore, it's in Liberia. And if you look at the car tires, you'll see Firestone written on them.
Firestone
is in Liberia.
The largest rubber plantation in this world is in Liberia.
The largest rubber plantation in this world is in Liberia. If you come to the side of diamond, it's in Liberia. Europeans used to come to capture Africans since time immemorial, and we have continuously remained in that situation, suffering and just been wasted. I can tell you one thing about Liberia. The way I know Liberia, even the citizens of Liberia don't know much about that country. And my going to Liberia, maybe I can seek forgiveness from Gambians. But today, if someone tells me go and rescue Liberians from suffering, I'll do it. I want you to listen to me carefully, sir. Liberia is for all. There's only one highway.
From Bon County, Ganta.
From Bon County, Ganta.
Morovia.
Going up to Monrovia.
From Morovia.
From Monrovia.
Bichama.
Going to Bichama. Liberia is all gravel road.
And Liberia is a rich country.
And Liberia is a rich country. So where is the resources going to? They will not allow Charles Taylor to be in Liberia. This question is pleasing to me. Let us be wise as Africans. The reason why they will not allow Charles Taylor to stay in Liberia,
iron ore.
The iron ore of Liberia,
100 years, he will sign.
They said they signed a 100-year.
Iron or abe concoment of Bangu Sabala Soto.
They had a 100-year lease, and it is found in 3 mountains. It's in Kepa.
Guinea Conakry Asotole.
Guinea Conakry has it.
Ivory Coast Yasoto.
Ivory Coast has
Liberia
it.
Soto.
Liberia has it. The mountain, someone can climb up. But every year, fire breaks from the top there, and nobody knows how the fire starts. That's Liberia mining it. The other countries have not mined.
But I remember Liberia.
The suffering that is on the people of Liberia. Who can take that off Liberians? Or will Liberians remain in this situation? And they have everything. But the white people are fooling them. When Charles Taylor was in power, he controlled Firestone. What was he doing there?
1,000 JJ.
When they used to pay you 1,000 JJ, because we use 2 currencies there. Our money is JJ. The one in Monrovia is Liberty. So those who worked at Firestone,
of 1,000.
if they were paid 1,000,
500 will be US.
500 would be
500 JJ.
500 JJ.
I will introduce Nunjele.
He introduced that there. Europeans will not like this. War is not good. But war too makes other places. Africans, let's rise up and do something about our situation. There's nothing in the Gambia, but Gambia is more developed than Liberia. There's nothing in Liberia which I can admire. And whatever you think of, Liberia has it. Why was it that during the course of the war, they did not do the court, the trials in Liberia and Australian? This lady that's just left the presidency. She worked under you. She was at the UN. I read a little bit about her. Very headstrong woman. Samuel Joe disturbed her a lot. He locked her several times. And she was even supporting Charles Taylor then. That was why if they want to trial Charles Taylor about Liberian affairs, they realized that if they want to use that, many people will be involved. And that was why they took it to Sierra Leone. Africans, let's open our eyes. All our lives we live in poverty when in fact we have everything that we need. I think those people ought to fight to achieve their peace.
They took Taylor to Sierra Leone. It's no longer a secret that Sierra Leone, Tijan Kaba and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf were persuading the powers that be to move Taylor from the region, from the sub-region West Africa, from Sierra Leone to Liberia, to The Hague. I don't want to get into the thing. The council is very much aware of what really happened in that area. But let me just ask them one last question. Oh, sorry. The friendship between Jammeh and Taylor, when did it start? You guys were in Liberia and then came to the Gambia to try to overthrow Jammeh. How did he become a friend of Charles Taylor?
Well, by what I heard, there's something between them. I don't know what it is. But what I heard, that some of Charles Taylor's weapons were with Jammeh here. I heard that before. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
So, but
if you see Charles Taylor telling us to go back because Jammeh has launched a coup, I suspect that there is something between them.
Mr. Chair, I think that is wild speculation, so we should consign it into the basket of speculations. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think we know what really happened at some point. I wanted to just hear from you what you thought the perspective was. You were on the ground. There were lots of things that were coming out that perhaps you weren't aware of. But again, thank you so much, Emma, for coming to testify before the Commission. If you have any final remarks to make, please proceed.
Haninka bi numbara bake pour ila songola pour kanela sedi andiro di commission la. Haninka bi ninga atre kuma soro bela fele kumoda soro menna isi tenteng yaf.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
Praise God.
Mario tendu sinya saba.
I thank my Maker 3 times.
Kabrin TRRC kumasta.
Since the inception of the TRRC,
mafa akafonkode.
I don't say that it happens in. I have not been following. I have not been following everything, but not many occasions. You are doing a good job.
TRRC man follow Gambia.
TRRC is not the first time it's happening.
But kabrin TRRC lota.
But since it was established, there has been a lot of talk. You know, there's something about Gambians, and that is what is surprising me about human beings. If you don't speak the truth, you will speak lies. How many years did Jawara spend here, and there was no TRRC that was established? If you see the TRRC being established, something happened. So, therefore, what should we do? Let us allow the TRRC to do its work and holding on the belief that what happened, let it not happen again. Even God, who created human beings, He forgives. If God used to follow us, then at this time the whole world would have been completely destroyed. Because every day we are doing contrary things to His wishes. But God does not look at that. So let the people take TRRC as people who come to make peace everlasting in this country. Many things have been said, that people are being paid to go there and testify. And what they say is this and this. And yesterday, what was happening when people are being taken to court? All of that happened in the presence of all people. But no one spoke. So for me, what I can say to the people now, especially Gambians, let us allow the TRRC to do its work. They are seeking for peace for this country. The water that has spilled cannot be recovered. The TRRC is seeking for the truth, and they will establish the truth. So I appeal to the citizens of this country. There is a lot of talk, but let us allow the TRRC to do its work. Yes, they've been selected to do their work, and they are doing a very fine job. There's one thing I want to say. I'm very surprised with Gambians. For 22 years, you don't hear anyone speak. So now everybody wants to become a Grt. Charles Taylor, this is what he used to say. He used to say, that was his motto. He used to say, when things were tough, where were you? And that is what is happening here now. Yesterday, people were scared to speak. Today, everybody is a speaker. That is surprising a lot. So I appeal to the people of the country. Let us allow the TRRC to do its work. It's peace that they want to strengthen. And we pray to God that that the mission that they have embarked on, that He will bless them and enable them to complete it to complete it well. Apart from that, I will now appeal to the entire Gambian population, the citizens of this country. When you see things happening in the country, you have to say it. I am aware of what was happening in Jawara's government. The election contest between Sirif Diba and Jawara. Gambia was very nice then. We used to play around with each other. This is something where you have only one seat. Even if 100 people are seeking for it, there is only one person who will sit on it. That people unite and become one. And look out for the interest of the country. And not our individual interests. And you have more of that now in this country. It is not worth, politics is not worth that. Let's come together and become people who are like from the same mother and father. Anyone, wherever you are, just stay in your position. That doesn't mean that you should be enemies. Let's look at other countries and see the examples, see how they are. The way they are managing their affairs. Let's also try and manage our affairs in that manner. We don't have any other country other than the Gambia. Well, my travels have not been very far and wide. But I know that in Africa here, there is no country like the Gambia. The peace that we have here, the humanity and hospitality we have here, I don't see it anywhere else. So let's not allow politics to be a source of separation for us. All these people are only tussling for one seat, and only one person will sit on it. And whosoever God anoints is the one that will sit on that seat. After that, President Adama Barrow is the head of the state. He is the one that God has put in that position. Whether you'll hear what I say here or not. But we are people who have also suffered a lot in this country. For 19 years and several months, someone is in prison. And now you are released. And what you were charged for, others we are not charged with that. Some others are there enjoying. Those who beat you up and did all sorts of things on you, some of them are in government enjoying. So those people, they are suffering their hardship. What is it? We appeal to him to also look at our affair. We are also citizens, and we suffered for the country. No matter how one takes it, whoever will take the message there, whether he does it or doesn't do anything, we are all beaten with the same stick. And the former president, when Yajame was granting that pardon, he did not discriminate. He pardoned all the political prisoners. Let him also do the same. I think that is what should happen. I appeal to him. Since God has put him in that position, and he is the one that God has made president, let him think about our case too. Since we too are family, people who have families. However it is, if you don't enjoy in one government and there is a new government,
5 years to some months.
You should also enjoy in another government. Since I left prison, this is 5 years, some months. I have nothing. So I appeal to him for that. Lastly, many people came here. They did not say it, or they have forgotten.
Mile 2.
Mile 2.
Yeah, I get you be.
Let him look at it.
Mile 2.
Mile 2.
Badan la you be.
I appeal to him. Let him look. Take a look at it critically. Those who have long sentences, let him look at their cases and have some sympathy for them.
Former President Jammeh.
Former President Jammeh,
I record le break.
He broke a record. 300 people and more he released. Some were on the death sentence, some life sentence,
20 years,
some 20 years. They are out now with their wives and children, and they are engaged in other activities. So I appeal on their behalf, let him pardon them. Please let him pardon them. Mile 2 is not easy. Mile 2 is not easy. If you don't spend a long time there, you wouldn't know. Many came here to the TRRC. They spoke, but they did not talk about the Mile 2. When I sit down, sometimes I want to cry. Mile 2 is not okay at all. Especially confinement. Number 5. That is a cemetery. People are there for many years. And human beings are not perfect. All those that Yajame pardoned in 2015, I have not heard of one single one of them who has returned back to prison. Well, maybe those who do the small thefts here who are taken and brought back. But those that were pardoned, many of them know that what they have done, they regretted it. So I appeal to the president to look at them, because Mile 2 is not a good place. Those who have been there for a long time, let him have mercy for them and release them. This is my statement.
Thank you very much for those remarks, Mr. Dampha. The first 3 points that you mentioned concerning the TRRC, that there is a lot of talk around in the country. Well, this is the era of free speech and free expression. They can say whatever they want to say. But we have been saying from this hall here that there is tremendous public support for the commission and the work that it is doing. And it's not just limited to what is going on here in the Gambia, but our friends and partners outside are also following the developments here. So I think there is some support for the work that we are doing. On the second point, those who allege that witnesses are paid to come here, I wish we had money to do that. And the last point, since our establishment, we have not had any interference from the authorities here. We're doing our work. We cooperate with them in the areas that we would need to cooperate with them, but interfering with the work, no, they are allowing us to do our work very freely.
Sanna fanna sabanda mendi wala mnyindi ko TRC la do ko nyin kabringa damu ta nin sayentema masakunda ala karola man wati sodo me alon ko ye dabula na do ko kono to nyala de wato don kela yamarol dol tala ko la men jarata ngabule no kan bari na bota wala e nana me dabula na do ko kono yembula ngam fanso ngam ben na do ko ke kan anyanta nyame.
everybody would hear it if there is any interference with what we are doing.
Ninga tara obe caring ko it masakunda da ke double na dugo kono mo bebe o moila bare wata caring.
But again, thank you so much for your testimony.
Haninka bi bare inum barabake ila seda ndiroto.
And for coming to appear before us. This brings us to the end of the proceedings for today. We will resume tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Thank you all very much, and meeting is adjourned.